Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar, School Spirit Shops Printing for Your School Bookstore. My name is Andy Curtis. I am with Stalls Transfer Express. I am the Sales and Service Training Coordinator here, and it is my pleasure to bring to you this webinar about expanding the school's horizon in terms of what its Spirit Store is capable of. I look forward to spending the next 45-ish minutes telling you all about what your Spirit Store can accomplish with a heat press and why it should be doing this with a heat press and all the wherefores and how-tos and all that good stuff. If you have joined me before, then welcome back. It's great to see you again. If you are new to our webinar, then I encourage you to listen intently, and if you have any questions, type them into the chat box that you see there. If I do not get to that question during the webinar, we will answer you individually afterwards via email. If you have joined me before, you know that we can go for about 45-ish minutes to an hour, so we are going to go ahead and get started with School Spirit Shops Printing for Your Bookstore. So right off the bat, we're just going to jump right in here. What can you create? What can you do? Now, here's what's amazing about heat printing, and that's the decorating method we're talking about here. When we're discussing all of these options for your school bookstore, we're talking about what you can do with the heat press, what your school bookstore can accomplish when it owns a heat press. And we're talking about an investment that could be anywhere from $850 to $1,450. It sort of depends on where your school is looking to go with it. But the point is, for that investment, here are the things your school is capable of doing. And what's funny about this is, if you've joined me in the past, you know I like to remind people to think beyond the t-shirts. There's more that you can do with a heat press than t-shirts. And of course, t-shirts are what we do a lot of. All of us, I'm sure anybody who has a heat press will tell you, we all press a lot of t-shirts. But there's more to it than just t-shirts. Anything you can fit into a heat press, really, and especially when we're talking about a school, there's all sorts of fun stuff we can do. Pants, mouse pads are a personal favorite. Mouse pads are great because everybody needs one, and it's something that's going to sit around your office anyway. It's nice to have something school spirity. But jerseys, even, it would be cool to have school replica jerseys. Hoodies, of course. What high school kid does not love a good hoodie? And then, of course, cinch sacks, bags, backpacks, that kind of stuff. So there's all sorts of fun stuff that you can create using just a heat press. So think beyond the t-shirts when you're thinking about your school spirit store and what you can decorate, what you can stock there. You could even hit this stuff up a notch, too, because here at Transfer Express, we sell non-apparel products. We sell stickers and that kind of thing. We'll look at them a little bit later in the webinar, but you can go a step further, and you can offer water bottles. You can have plastic water bottles with slap a sticker on there with the school name, school mascot, that kind of thing. So the School Spirit Store, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of stuff you can do using a heat press and using heat printing and Transfer Express products. So here's another little fun thing you can do with a heat press. When you have a heat press, quick add-on personalization can be a lot of fun. Using a heat press, you can personalize any shirt, adding a name to it. And as the Spirit Shop, you should charge per letter used. And of course, what you charge per letter is based on what product you buy. But the way to look at it is you charge per letter, find a good amount that kids would be willing to pay, and you charge per letter. You can use glitter flake letters, which are a fantastic glitter film product. You see them actually on the picture on the top of the slide here. The word mom there underneath Wildcats is glitter flake. They're really bright, glittery. It's a fantastic product. The glitter doesn't actually come off either. It does not come off on your hands or anything like that. It's fantastic. You don't find it everywhere. But you can also do names and numbers. If you can offer personalization by using the stock letters and the stock numbers that we sell here at Transfer Express, Easy Prints letters and Easy Prints numbers. And you can do names and numbers, and again, you're going to charge per letter, per number done. And of course, you can offer the same sports jerseys, perhaps that the actual sports themselves play, but you can offer little add-ons like adding mom, dad, brother, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma, that kind of thing, to just the plain old jerseys. And suddenly it's not just a plain old jersey anymore. Suddenly it's something personalized for the family. So definitely something to think about there. And that's all just with quick personalizing, adding names to stuff. You can have your school's mascot, you can have your school's logo on a t-shirt, but for X amount of cents per letter, you can tack on somebody's name onto it, or above it, or below it, or on the back of the shirt even, or something popular back when I was in high school, and it seems so long ago now, but something that was popular back when I was in high school was having a hoodie and putting your name down the sleeve of the hoodie, or putting your name on the pocket of the hoodie. So definitely some fun stuff you can offer just by having some stock letters, some stock numbers sitting around and using your heat press. So a lot of options there. And again, the fun one there at the top is the glitter flake letters, which we do carry too. So that's a really neat option. So here's a problem that you as a bookstore, if you are the school bookstore, you're listening in here, or maybe you are considering helping out with a school bookstore or volunteering, whatever. Here's a problem you've probably had or heard of bookstores having. You see the frustrated bookstore lady here in the picture is saying, I wish I didn't get stuck with all these extra shirts every year. That's got to be annoying. If your bookstore is selling, especially stuff that has the year on it, but even beyond that, if you're updating your designs every year, you get stuck with these designs at the end of every year that what are you going to do with? You got to clearance them, you got to try and get rid of them, you got to donate them. What's beautiful is that when you use a heat press, when you have a heat press, you don't have to commit that stock. You don't have to decorate a shirt until somebody actually buys the shirt. So your situation is totally different. You only have to stock the blank t-shirts, and when somebody walks into your shop and needs one, you print on demand. So you don't actually have to get rid of that stock. You don't have to clearance sale anything. You don't have to try and figure out what am I going to do with all of this 2014 stuff when the school year rolls over. So definitely another positive here. And this is just one of those universal things about heat presses in general, even beyond schools, that's just super, super nice. So what is a transfer exactly? What are we talking about? When we say transfer, when we say using a heat press and applying transfers, what is a transfer? First of all, a transfer is images and words that you see on shirts, hats, pants, towels, other apparel items. Those can be transfers. A transfer is applied to a garment using a heat press. That's what a transfer is. A transfer can be screen print, plastisol ink. A transfer can be digital, such as our CAD print product, where it's actually a film product. You can use these transfers to create your school names, mascots, class of t-shirts. I'm sure every high school does that for the graduating seniors, class of 14, class of whatever, with names or even signatures perhaps. You can use these transfers to decorate all the items we talked about on the previous slide, hoodies and mouse pads and all that kind of thing. And again, these transfers, they are screen print, they are digital, they are quality products that last the life of the garment. When you're printing transfers, the catch to this is that the pricing is always based on how many colors you're doing and how many pieces you're doing. So these are things to consider if you're trying to price out an order, you're getting ready to do some spirit wear for your spirit shop, let's say. You have a limited budget, of course, as we all do. So you have to consider things like the number of colors and the number of pieces you're printing. If you print more pieces, you get a better price break. If you print less colors, you get a better price break. So you find yourself asking, okay, do I really have to print 2 colors? Can I cut down to 1? Or more, can I go from 3 colors to 2 colors, or 3 colors to 1 color, etc. So things to consider when you're talking about doing transfers, when you're talking about using a heat press in the spirit shop there. Now, as I mentioned, there are 2 types of transfers that you can use on your heat press. There are screen printed transfers, and then there are digital transfers. Now, when we say screen printed transfers, we're talking about silk screen, plastisol ink, just like the screen printer down the street is using. The difference is we're screen printing onto a piece of paper instead of screen printing onto a t-shirt. And then we here at Transfer Express send you that screen printed transfer that you apply with your heat press. It's the same quality as the screen printer down the street from you. We offer all sorts of fun options. Also, we have over 70 colors, and we have specialty transfers like glitter and puff and glow in the dark and another fun one called Pearl that the kids like. It's got a really neat pearl shine to it. So we have all sorts of options for you, and when it comes right down to it, it's just as quality as any screen printing you're going to get from any screen printer. Again, we're doing the same thing they are. The ink's just taking a detour onto a piece of paper before you press it onto the shirt. Okay. On the right side of the screen here, we have digital CAD prints. Now, the concept behind CAD prints is, imagine if you had your printer at home, your printer is sitting on your desk at home, but instead of paper being loaded into it, it's a roll of film that's loaded into that printer. You're going to print some artwork, some pictures or some full-color bright artwork onto that film, and then you're going to take that film and you're going to cut the picture out of it and then stick it to your shirt. That is what a CAD print is. Now, it's created using a digital process, just like a printer, like I explained. It's the CMYK color palette. So if you have people making artwork for you, it's made in CMYK. And this is what's great for photos. If you have a photo, you're doing a commemorative photo of, say, your football team does really well at state this year, or maybe even wins the championship, it would be neat to do a commemorative football shirt for everybody. It'd be cool to be able to do that, sell them to the families of the football players and all that good stuff. Doing a photo is easy with the CAD print product. Or any full color artwork for that matter. If you have some kind of contest and you have a student that's designed some kind of bright, colorful artwork that's got a lot going on, then the CAD prints would be best for that sort of design. Now, of course, when you order from Transfer Express, our representatives will always walk you through which one of these products is best. You simply tell us what you're doing and show us your artwork, and we'll help figure out which one of these is best for you. Here at Transfer Express, let's say you trying to cut some corners, trying to cut some cost out. We have a lot of our own artwork here at Transfer Express, tons and tons of our own artwork. We have our idea book, actually, which is a book full of our artwork. And when you use the artwork out of our idea book, it actually saves you a good chunk of cash. And we have a lot of things available. We have a lot of mascots available. There's there's hundreds of these mascots, all sorts of different categories. We have all the common mascots that you see all the time. We even have a couple stranger and more eclectic mascots in there too, so we do our best to give you a great selection to choose from. But recently, we've actually begun to stock some mascot rhinestones. We did these statistics and found out, based on all of our customers' ordering patterns, which were the 16 most popular mascots. And we took those 16 most popular mascots and we've made them into rhinestones. So you can actually get your mascot, possibly, if yours is one of these 16 popular ones, you can get your mascot in rhinestones. And this offers you the ability to do some really cool stuff with your heat press. Again, all those items we talked about, whether they're t-shirts or pants or hoodies or maybe not mouse pads, you don't want to put rhinestones on a mouse pad, but cinch sacks, that kind of thing. There are all sorts of fun stuff you can do when you combine screen printed transfers and rhinestones. Of course, the only catch is when you press a rhinestone onto a garment, you need to make sure that the rhinestone is sticking to the garment. You don't want to stick the rhinestone to the transfer or to any ink or anything like that. You want the rhinestone to stick directly to the garment. That ensures a good adhesion. But definitely a fun option, some neat stuff you can do to spice things up in your spirit store. Or even the other way to look at it too, the shirt industry sees it as when you add rhinestones to a garment that already has screen print, you can add a lot of value to that shirt. You can add quite a bit to the asking price. Suddenly the shirt that you have might not be so cheap as before. You can sell it for another $2, $3, $4, depending on what rhinestones you've added or what you've done to it to embellish it further. And more to the point, we offer thousands of customizable layouts. Now, a layout is a combination of text and clip art. You can take that layout, for example, at the top of the screen here on the left-hand side, we have QSL 145. You can take that layout and you can change all the text, change all the clip art, make it say and look the way that you want. For example, we started with Compton High School with that eagle head there. We started with that design. We changed the word Compton to Mongamy. We left high school the same. We changed eagles to wildcats and then switched out the eagle head for the school's wildcat clip art, which we happen to have. And voila, there you have it off to the right, Mongamy High School Wildcats. Now, you can take that same design and by changing the clip art and changing the colors a little bit, you get Stripes for Life Wildcat Cheerleader. Or maybe stick a soccer ball in there and make it a little more simple. We got proud to be a soccer mom. So you see how you can take one of our layouts and make all sorts of fun changes to it. We have over 5,000 of those layouts, and they are free to access. You don't have to pay membership fees or anything crazy like that to get access to them. So you simply choose the layout, change it to say what you want, call us up, tell us what that is you're looking for, and we send you the transfers to heat press. Very simple stuff. And of course, the idea here is Spirit Shop can look through all these designs, whether it be sports related or not. We have designs that, especially this design here, the one we're looking at, the QSL 145. When you see that that layout, it doesn't have to be sports related. It simply says Compton High School Eagles. That could be just a generic Eagle Pride design for all we know. So there's all sorts of options, places for you to go when you're looking, your Spirit store, you're looking at these designs. It doesn't have to be sports related. Now, here at Transfer Express, we offer you the ability to not only pick one of those designs and go through all the artwork and tell us what you want it to look like. You can actually enter that layout and that information on our website and see it yourself right there in front of you what the artwork is going to look like. So in our example here, we've gone to our website, we've gone to Easy View, and we've chosen that layout that we were looking at, that QSL 145 layout. So in this case, this person has already clicked on and changed it, but we're going to go through here and talk about what's possible. First of all, you can start a new job by clicking the Start a New Job button at the very top of the screen. And when you start a new job, you can opt to search for a new layout, or you can opt to open a design you already started, or you can opt just to start from scratch. You can change the background color. Now, this is important because you obviously have school colors to work with. Here in Mentor, Ohio, our colors are scarlet and gray. So I wouldn't want to be designing this on a white background because it's going to give me a warped idea of what it's going to look like. I'm obviously not going to have a clear vision of what it's going to look like on my gray or scarlet t-shirt. In this case, the Mongomay High School Hornets, they are orange and blue are their school colors. So we've chosen to change the color here of the garment, the background, to orange. Then go ahead and change your ink colors. In this case, as I said, the school's colors are blue and orange. Of course, we've used blue, and we need a second color in there. You got to spice it up a little bit. So we decided to go with white because white's a great universal color. Looks good on orange, and you still got the school's orange and blue going on there, so it doesn't hurt anything. So we've gone with, and it appears to be a royal blue actually. So royal blue and white are the two ink colors. And then once you have changed the color, you go ahead and you click on the piece of clip art, like what was originally there was the eagle head back when this design said Compton Eagles, Compton High School Eagles. We clicked on the eagle head, and then we clicked the button that pops up that says swap, and we changed out the eagle to that cool hornet there. And then you change the text as well. You click on the text, and it gives you a little text box you can type into. Simply type the line of text that you wish to see there, and there you have it. And again, all of those options can be found under the Edit All area, which is off to the left-hand side where we see the circle where we're talking about changing the ink color. All of the text changes and clip art changes can occur over there. So let's talk about the heat press. Even beyond all this artwork we've been discussing and the transfers and all that, let's talk about the heat press here. The heat press is the piece of equipment you need to actually do what we're talking about. This is the piece of equipment that's necessary to actually press the transfers to make the shirts and the mouse pads and the cinch sacks and all that good stuff. Now, the heat press is what applies the transfers to the apparel. The things you're looking for when you're purchasing a heat press, you have to bear in mind that you get what you pay for. If you're looking for a press that is cheap, you're going to find a press on the internet. You'll find one that's cheap, certainly, but it's not going to help you with the three most important things. The three most important things when you're pressing a transfer are correct time, temperature, and pressure. An inferior press is not going to give you accurate ideas of temperature and pressure. Timers are simple, but the temperature, there's a lot that can go wrong with some of the cheaper machines out there on the internet. So definitely make sure when you're shopping around you're looking for a machine that is accurate in its time, its temperature, and its pressure. And if you're looking to press unique items, such as shoes, for example, or hockey bags or tote bags, it can be useful and necessary even to purchase a specific platen. Now, here's some anatomy for you. The top of the heat press, if you're looking at my picture here, the top of the heat press is where you see it's written sideways there where it says Stahl's Hotronics. That's the top of the heat press. That's the heating element. That's where all the heat comes from, and it's called the upper platen. The upper platen. Now, the bottom of the heat press where the garment would be sitting, you can just about see a blue pad here. And I don't know if you can see where my mouse is pointing here, but you can just about see a blue pad that's up in there. That blue pad is the bottom platen. That is exactly where the shirt would sit when you load the shirt onto the press to press the transfer. Okay? Those bottom platens are interchangeable. You can take that bottom platen that's there, which is 16 by 20 in the picture here, and you can change that platen out with something else. If you wanted to press a pair of shoes, there's a different shaped platen that allows that to happen. Also, if you have a hockey bag, or if you have a tote bag, or those cinch sacks, for example. These are all items that are shaped a little strangely, and that you could have problems pressing if you press over the seams or the obstacles that are on that garment, that textile. So we make these additional platens so that you can avoid those obstacles. You can put the shoes on the platen in such a fashion that they sit flat. You can buy a bagger platen so that you can actually slip the tote bag over the platen and not have to worry about the handles and the seams on the sides screwing up your transfer adhesion. So definitely some things to think about here with the heat press. So why custom transfers? Why are we bothering with any of this? Why bother with buying custom transfers and the heat press and all that good stuff? Well, cost efficiency, first of all. Cost efficiency, because we're not, when you're trying to work with a screen printer, or you're screen printing yourself maybe, maybe your school has screen printing equipment and you're doing it yourselves. When you're screen printing, you don't know how much you're going to sell. You have no idea how many of those shirts you're going to sell. You have to commit the t-shirts. You have to commit the stock. You're printing X amount of t-shirts. You could run out and cause problems, or worse, you could have more and have leftover at the end of the school year that you have to figure out what to do with. Custom transfers are also nice because you can print on demand, so you're not committing that stock. So when somebody walks into your shop, they can point at a design and say, hey, it's the one I like, and you can just heat press it right there for them. You have no need for clearance then, because you don't have anything extra at the end of the year that you have to get rid of, and you can stay on top of trends. When we're talking about custom transfers, you have control. You can choose what exactly you want it to look like, what you want it to be like. For example, what's really popular right now is skulls. But here's the problem. Skulls are popular with the girls right now, but we know how those fads last, right, guys? They don't last very long necessarily. All depends on what magazines are going to show the girls wearing what next month. So skulls might be it right now. But if you screen printed those shirts, you've got a whole bunch of skull shirts just sitting there that were popular for a little while, and now nobody wants. Next week, the style could be flowers, for all you know. Something wavy, something colorful and girly, that could be what's popular. Using transfers, you can buy small quantities and have them available. So if somebody does actually, they're on the backswing of this trend and they didn't know that skulls were out, they can still walk in, they can order a skull shirt, and it's not like you're wasting the shirts because you didn't have them screen printed. You just bust out a t-shirt, you bust out a transfer, and you press it right there on the spot. You don't have any wasted inventory. And remember that we have over 5,000 customizable layouts, our easy prints. So there are a ton of options. You can get as creative as you'd like, and you have full control over the design using our easy view process that we were just talking about a moment ago off of our website, where you can choose the design, go to easy view, customize it, mess with it, move the text around, move the clip art around, put things where you want it to go. It can look exactly the way you want. So let's talk about operating the store. How do you go about operating the bookstore? There's a couple ideas we want to share with you here. And again, there are some suggestions here that might not jive with the rules at your school. There are some things that might not be practical for your individual school. But our goal is just to put these ideas out there to give you something to take back and go with where you want with these suggestions. It's just things to get your creative juices flowing here. Now, something to think about. If you're going to buy a heat presses are extremely easy to use. One of my favorite stories is when I was a relatively new employee here at Transfer Express, I had a sister. She was 12 years old, and she was in a karate class. And I, of course, told her sensei that I could press shirts for their karate class. Thought maybe they just want a couple just for all the current students, but oh no, he wanted to get 200 hoodies with transfers on the front and the back. I had no idea how I was going to get all these hoodies done, and it occurred to me, oh my gosh, I have access to 2 heat presses. I can use one, and I can make my 12-year-old sister use the other one. And in a period of 10-15 minutes, I showed her how the heat press operated, and it took her only a small amount of time before she was pressing the hoodies right along with me. We made a couple mistakes along the way, but for the most part, operating a heat press is simple. So require your students to apply them. Even with even with a teacher's supervision or teacher's recommendation, have your students apply these transfers. It's a great learning opportunity. It's great for them to see how things are made. It's even a neat science opportunity to understand how all the ink works. And you can get these students to volunteer in your store. You can get the students to help out. This can be a senior project thing. This can be an accounting class thing. This can be a business class thing, because the positions needed for the School Spirit store could be sales, a store manager who takes care of the ordering and the stocking and all that stuff, accounting to keep track of the money, the daily income, how much money the store brought in and how it's handling its cash and its liquid assets like that. And then advertising. How do kids know what's in the Spirit store? Somebody's got to put up posters. They got to put up flyers, distribute papers to the homerooms, that kind of thing. So there's some positions here that could be great opportunities for learning experiences, tying your school bookstore in to all of this good stuff. So the students can apply the transfers, and then you can work with these different classes for school projects. So definitely a cool idea. And keep in mind that at the end of the day, not only are these kids getting this experience with pressing transfers or being in the sales, the store managing, accounting, that kind of thing, not only are they having that experience, but the school is making money. The school is making money selling these shirts, selling these mouse pads and cinch sacks and hoodies and all that good stuff. So the school is actually making cash on top of the students getting experience, getting a rich educational situation that could only come through internship or something in the college level. So definitely something neat for some of the students in the accounting, the advertising, the economics areas. So when we're talking about your Spirit shop, there's a couple things we need to think about, such as location. Where is your Spirit shop going to be? Where is the shop going to be located? Where is the shop going to advertise? That kind of stuff. The shop should be located somewhere with a lot of student traffic, such as a food location like the cafeteria. That's a fantastic place for the Spirit shop to go, for the shirt shop. Now, at Mentor High School, we had our Spirit shop was just outside of the cafeteria. That was perfect. Great location. So right after finishing your lunch, we're all looking across the cafeteria. We can see the Spirit shop right from where we're sitting. So spur-of-the-moment purchases, that kind of stuff is very doable and happens quite often. You can put your Spirit shop inside the bookstore. A lot of students end up at the bookstore for one reason or another, for one class or another. And putting the Spirit shop, the shirt shop, inside the bookstore is a smart idea. That way you're conserving space on top of everything else. And here's something to think about. If you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, our school doesn't have that kind of space, we don't have that kind of room, here's the reality. A successful heat press business, a successful heat printing business, really only needs 3 feet by 3 feet of space. Now, of course, is more than that desirable? Certainly. But you can function just fine with 3 feet by 3 feet of space. That gives you room for your heat press, your transfers, and your blank clothing, because that's what's important, just to be able to bang out those t-shirts or bang out those garments, whatever we're talking about, and get those done. And all that you need to accomplish that is 3 feet by 3 feet of space, give or take. So when you're putting your Spirit shop together, something that you need to consider are displays. You need to show the kids what you're capable of. And of course, we very much appreciate one of our local schools here who is allowing us to use these pictures of their Spirit shop. So you're actually seeing a real Spirit shop. This is how one of our local high schools actually handles its Spirit shop. So what they've got here is a display of every design, and this wall shows all of their options. Now what's cool is at the bottom right of every design, you see a little white dot. That white dot is a number. So a kid can actually walk into the spirit shop and say, hey, I like design number 5 there, and I want it on a white t-shirt. I want it on a gray t-shirt. Or maybe you don't give them shirt colors, but the point is they can say, hey, that design's cool. I want number 5. Okay. Now, you should have some apparel ready to go. Not a lot, mind you, because the whole point is to save on clearancing anything. So the apparel that you do have ready to sell should be generic apparel that doesn't have a year, that doesn't need updating necessarily. But you should have some that's hanging up, assuming you have the space, so you have some ready to go. And, of course, you want to have some ready to press. You want the blanks nearby also. You want those ready to go. So people can come in, take something off the rack, or they can come ask you for their specific item. And again, by doing the printing on demand, that alleviates your need to clearance items. So let's talk about operating your store. Let's talk about how to operate your spirit shop or your t-shirt store at your school. Students know what their peers like, so use our Easy View process. And our Easy View process has this share and preview function where you can actually see what the design is going to look like roughly on a t-shirt. So use the share and preview function to create a design and then let kids vote on their favorites. Hang the designs up outside the spirit shop. Tell the students, announce to the students, put up posters in the hallways, let them know that they can come vote on a design, and perhaps you're going to take the most popular, maybe 2 designs, and make them into shirts then. It creates a really neat contest for the kids, and it's something that they would like because they're the ones who picked it. T-shirts in your spirit shop can also take the place of fundraisers. You can set it up so that the proceeds of all the shirts sold go towards certain functions, clubs, boosters, that sort of thing. You can also draw people to your spirit shop by having it sell other items such as dance tickets. We all know how many kids go to the dances. They need a ticket for that dance. Why not sell the tickets at the spirit shop, which brings them into the shop and ensures that they have a better chance of actually purchasing something from you. And, of course, avoid having more supply than demand. Don't make too many so that you have to clearance out items. Like I said, you want to have some hanging up, assuming you have the space. If you don't have the space, don't worry about it. But if you have space, you want to take up that space. You want to have some completed garments, generic ones that don't require to be updated with the year, that sort of thing. But don't have too many. You don't want to overdo it because the whole goal is to not waste anything. So we talked about that preview and share feature just a second ago. The preview and share function allows you to see what the garment is going to look like with the design you made. Now, this is the Mongabay High School one that we were looking at just a little while ago, and it shows you what the Mongabay High School design is going to look on a t-shirt, and a hoodie, and a bag, and a pair of pants, and a hat. You can create all sorts of different designs. You can put them on the different apparel, all with just a couple button clicks. You can choose to print these designs out on a piece of paper. You can email them, or you can download them onto computers, and you can have students vote on their favorites. That's very cool. And it's a great way to test what kids like also. Even for no other reason, you get to see which designs get voted on, which designs get chosen. It gives you a better idea and a better pulse of what the kids like. If you have a heat press, you don't have to outsource your senior t-shirts. I'm sure every high school has this. You do something for the graduating class. Maybe it's a signature shirt like you see the girl in the picture here wearing. Maybe it's just a simple class list. But the whole point is when you have a heat press, you don't have to outsource that. You can do it in-house. Okay. Class of t-shirts, for example, they usually include the graduation year, and generally you see kids' names listed inside the numbers or outside the numbers in columns. It's all going to depend on how many kids were in your graduating class. But then you've also got signature templates. These are wildly popular. Signature templates are always very, very sought after. What happens is we send you a piece of paper. You get the high school seniors or the football team or the cheerleaders, whoever, you get them to sign the piece of paper, and then we take that and we turn the design into transfers. We send them to you to heat press, and voila. The kids can point at their shirt and say, hey, that is my signature. And in the end, everybody loves doing that. You can do these signatures for class trips, you can do them for sports teams, or you can do them for the seniors. As the Spirit Shop, you also have the distinct honor of being able to put out fan wear for the school. This is the fun stuff. This is what you saw a lot of the people in my high school wearing back in the day, different kinds of fan wear. You can make garments for the parents even. Now, this is a fantastic little thing just to have an option for in your shop where you can make shirts for mom and dad. So basketball Lions design at the top left there is a good example of this, where we've got Lions basketball, and all we do is add the word mom. Now suddenly you have this really great mom design that you can stock there. So you can also carry mascots in specific sports. Maybe your football team went really far this year. Maybe you had a club that won some kind of regional contest, a Power of the Pen or Science Olympiad kind of situation. You can make shirts for them because, needless to say, if they won, they've gotten some notoriety at your school, and you can make shirts for them, sort of capitalize on that. And of course, like I said earlier, it's more than just T-shirts. You can customize chairs, koozies, rally towels, lunch boxes. All of the items you see in these pictures are totally customizable. If you can get the fabric to sit in a heat press, you can customize it. I said we were going to talk about this, and here we go. There are extras available. We don't do just transfers here at Transfer Express. We also have some non-apparel products that have nothing to do with garments. Now, these are a lot of different items like stickers, they're banners, wall graphics, window decals, window clings. So many fun things you can do here. The picture at the top left there is our custom sticker product on that blue water bottle. That's pretty slick stuff. That looks fantastic. And here's what's cool. It looks just like the design that's on the lunch pouch to the right? Now, what's funny is that design on the lunch pouch, that was heat pressed on. So you can take the design that you ordered from us for your heat printed transfers, your screen printed transfers, and then you can reorder that artwork as a sticker. So you get the sticker that looks exactly like your artwork. On the right-hand side there, we have our bumper stickers, but we also like to call them locker stickers. The bumper sticker adhesive is great at sticking to metal, and that's, after all, what lockers are. So these are a fantastic little item you can hand out to the kids. Something neat to see on the outsides of the lockers and something they can have some pride in. And again, it's also a nice cheapie for the Spirit Shop to have. Stickers are, of course, very cost-effective. At the very bottom there, we have a banner. Now, on our banner happens to be advertising Spirit Wear Sale, but your banner can be whatever you want it to be. You can have any kind of interesting banner design there. If you're doing banners for let's see, you're doing banners for the outside of the stadium to advertise the homecoming game, or you can have banners inside the school advertising different bits and pieces, different events that are happening. So banners are another great non-apparel product to get your message out there, to get your stuff out there. So let's talk about the benefits of opening your Spirit Shop and using a heat press. Now again, like we talked about earlier, it can replace fundraisers. Suddenly, you can make money by pressing these t-shirts. You don't have to do fundraisers, you just have to get kids in to buy the Spirit shirts. You can create sports and fan apparel. Hey, here's another way to look at it too. By purchasing this heat press, the Spirit Store can also assist the school more. When there's downtime, the Spirit Store is not quite so busy, it's possible to heat press the jerseys. It's possible to decorate the other organizations in the school for the sports and for the different clubs and such. You can get senior t-shirts and Spirit wear all by ordering from us. You don't have to farm any of that out anymore. You can create a team environment with student workers. Now, this is a neat idea, and I wish we would have had this going on when I was in high school, but you can create a really neat team environment by having the students do the work. And the positions, of course, would be managing the office, advertising it, handling and accounting the money of how much was made, how much is coming in and going out every day, and then the sales, actually selling the product. So there's a lot of options here. There's a lot of things you can do, and it's phenomenal how you can get the kids involved. Okay, everybody. I didn't see any questions pop up here, so hopefully everybody's questions were answered along the way. Hopefully this was a lot of great information for everybody. There was a lot of ideas given out here, and I hope that if nothing else, maybe you can't execute all these ideas, maybe you have some rules or regulations that prevent some of these things from happening, but hopefully if nothing else, you walk away with some ideas on how you can take your school spirit store to the next level. Or if you don't have a spirit store yet, if you don't have a school t-shirt shop, how you can start one and do some cool things with it. Fundraisers for the school and neat apparel to sell to the students and all sorts of fun things like that. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming today. If you have anything else you want to ask us about, you're welcome to call us, email us, that sort of thing. I just saw somebody pop up a question about the signature shirts, so I just want to throw that out there one more time because that's always one of the most popular items when it, especially this time of year, May, June rolling around. The signature shirt, the concept is you contact us here at Transfer Express, and you pick a design, one of our signature template designs, and a signature template design is just one of our layouts that has a lot of open space for people to sign their names. You pick one of those designs, and you contact us, and you say, hey, I need a signature template, and I want to use template design number CS1. So we take that design, we customize it, and then we send you a big piece of paper, an 11 by 14 piece of paper with the design on it. You have the kids sign that paper with a medium felt tip marker, and then the template is sent back to us. We scan it in, we tweak it, and then we burn that into a screen and print the transfers for you. So it's a phenomenal process. The template does cost $25, but then you get that $25 back as a discount when we receive the template back. So it's a fantastic process. It's super popular. We see a lot of them this time of year. So when you guys have your own heat press, when your school has its own heat press, that kind of thing is easy to accomplish, and you didn't have to farm it out to a screen printer. You got to keep that all in-house. So definitely a good thing. But anyway, if anybody has any other questions that I didn't get to or something you think about after the webinar, please feel free to give us a call or hit us up on email, info@transferexpress.com. Check out our website, and of course our blog too. Our marketing department does a fantastic job of putting ideas out there on that blog. Not even just advertising products or stuff, but showing you guys how you can make your businesses successful. So definitely check our blog out, give it a read. We appreciate that. And for those of you who are not opening a spirit shop, maybe you're just joining us today to learn a little bit and then grow intellectually, make sure to join us for our next webinar. I will be joining you again Thursday, June 5th at 2 o'clock, like always, and we're going to talk about selling custom apparel to niche markets. Specialize and earn more. It's funny how there are so many little markets, not big like sports, like baseball, that kind of stuff, but big markets out there who are totally untapped. People who we could be selling shirts to, but we don't think about it, or we totally discount them, or we forget about them. So we're going to talk about that kind of stuff next week. So again, I very much appreciate everybody attending. If there are any other questions or anything, please feel free to email us. And I hope to see everybody next time. Good luck with your school spirit store.